Storm clouds gather over Europe. Mistrust and rivalries between realms threaten to break and flood the world in a tide of total war.
Hello guys, and welcome to a new Total War series today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you Medieval 2 Total War, and you may be able to tell by the sound of my voice, but I'm really excited to get into this one. This is a blast from the past. I absolutely loved Medieval 2 Total War. It's possibly one of my favourite Total War games behind Rome Total War. And yeah, it's been a while. Either way, we did choose to play the English, or at least I did. So we're going to jump into a grand campaign, and we're going to be playing it on very hard difficulty. Now, I did hear that this is actually pretty hard. I do my research before I jump into these campaigns quite often, because playing on very hard difficulty is of course challenging. But I hear that there's some odd mechanics around rebellions in Medieval 2 that can make things quite awkward. So we're going to have to keep an eye out for that. We're going to, of course, do a long victory, which means that we have to hold 45 regions, including Jerusalem. So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, going to keep manage all cities on so that we can do that manually. No battle time limit, because that prevents us from being beaten by bugs in the game. Like if the AI sort of messes up for whatever reason, we don't have to deal with that, and I don't have to quit the game. I can just let the battle time out and then we can go again, basically. So that is all that, but let's read the description for England. Having recently wrestled control of England from the Saxons, many would expect the conquering Normans to be somewhat spent and weakened. However, the new rulers of England have swiftly replaced and improved the taxation system so as to replenish their coffers in quick time. Most importantly, William the Conqueror came with the support of the Pope, as well as a mixed force of well-trained infantry, archers and heavy cavalry. England's new masters have a more modern approach to the art of warfare, and the will to utilise the country's rich resources to maximum effect. The English court may now speak French, but the Normans certainly don't consider their new conquest a French territory. This independence in England, plus the proximity of Normandy to other lands the French monarchy consider their own, makes France an immediate and obvious threat to deal with. The ever-stubborn Scottish also prevent the King of England from having uncontested control of the British Isles. Though they presently face trouble on multiple fronts, the English are in a rather promising position. The Scots to the north are isolated from the rest of Europe, and they should be easy to wear down without a strong ally from the mainland. The French royal forces are more than a match for the armies in Normandy, but they also have enough fronts to deal with right now that they are unlikely to be able to drive them from the continent anytime soon. So our strengths are superb longbowmen and strong infantry. Our weaknesses are a poor variety of cavalry. So yeah, that's about it. I'm incredibly excited to get into this. I hope you guys are as well. Let's go ahead and start the campaign.
With the Norman conquest and a crowned king came the dawning of a new era for England. Nobles ordered the construction of mighty castles to fortify the realm. To rule this land is a birthright, but to control it requires the courage and skill few possess. It is a kingdom beset by enemies. The Scots press at its borders, the Vikings to the north, and the French separated by a mere channel of water. All of the country exists in a state of war, as even the common are called upon for duty. In these times of total war, it rests on the shoulders of those who lead to ensure the kingdom does not fall into ruin.
Here we are, guys. Welcome to the campaign. It's been a while since I've seen this lot going on. So regardless of the sort of research that I do before going into the campaign, I haven't actually had a chance to really play this through at all. So we are kind of starting from scratch here. It's been a while since I've messed around with a lot of the campaign mechanics and such. So you'll have to bear with me as I reattune myself to them. We do have our English diplomat here. First things first, we're going to want to discover other factions and find out what they want.
Without question.
So let's go and have a look at what is elsewhere. That is actually the French capital.
At your
Our English
service.
merchant can go and have a look at that,
As you
actually.
command.
We can't see what the army is in Paris, but
At
you
your
can see that it's
service.
not that big.
My lord.
Now the intention here is probably to pull the troops out of Caen. We'll go and take Rennes. I'm
At
probably
your
going to have
service.
this chap sit on one of these trade nodes for the time being. I think cloth's worth quite a lot.
On my way.
Like these silks.
At your
I don't know if we
service.
can trade if it's not in our territory though, that's the trouble. Although it wouldn't tell us the cost of other resources if I couldn't.
As you command. Opening a new
Yeah,
trade
that's
lane.
worth 5 florins per turn. Not a lot, but better than nothing for this turn. I'll probably move him back over here and start trading in wine or something. Anyway,
Ships
our
ready.
fleets
Fleet ready,
can't
sire.
really do too much at the moment. I'm likely to just commit a lot of my troops in England up north to take out the Scots early on. And then we will solidify the British Isles and then we'll push into France afterwards. Although, I guess it could be a good idea to try and take out France early on. It just depends how many units they actually have.
My lord.
But what we are going to do
My
is
lord.
probably take
My
out
lord.
all of these chaps.
Orders. Sire.
I could probably
Orders.
use the leader actually as well. So yeah, we're going to take him as
With
well.
the
We're going to go and
fighting
take
forces.
that off the rebels.
To battle it is then, sire.
I might need to recruit myself some more dudes here. I'm probably just going to pick up some peasants actually to help with public order. Public order and keeping that high is going to be pretty important actually. I'm also going to get myself some mailed knights as they are pretty damn useful. But the first thing we will want to do is upgrade our infrastructure. So let's go ahead and get some roads. We'll get ourselves a land clearance. I'll get myself the small chapel. All of these sort of economy based buildings are what we want to focus on. The military buildings we don't necessarily need so much. Not yet at least. So in London we'll also focus on the buildings that generate income. So we'll go for land clearance, mines, the church. And one thing that you do have to be a little bit wary of in this game is that it only takes the cash from the buildings and recruitment from this turn, not the total queue. So if you're not careful and you get a bit too ahead of yourself with this sort of construction queue, you can run out of money very quickly. But what we can do is probably raise the tax rate in London to make us a bit more money. So we're going to do that. And we can do that since we do have a governor here in William the Conqueror. If I take that out, I think I won't be able to manage the tax. Yeah. So that's something that I've got to look out for. I am probably going to put my princess onto this fleet and get her across. I should probably also do the same with my cardinal. Cardinals are great for converting populace, but it really depends if the populace needs converting in the first place. If we jump in, I should be able to look at the details of the settlement. I'm just trying to work out where that is. I can't remember. Here we have all of the stuff to do with the Pope. We can request him to commission a crusade if we like. Currently we are sitting quite high on the papal standing compared to other people. Actually, we're equal with everyone else except from the Holy Roman Empire. In terms of diplomacy, don't really care about anyone just yet. And that is fine. Lovely. This is our family tree. William the Conqueror is of course king. Married to Matilda. We have Prince Rufus and Robert as our sons. This is the College of Cardinals. I believe as your character gains more piety, there's more of a chance that they can become Pope? Is that how it works? Or is it maybe just gives you more influence? Yeah, probably being the case. One thing you do have to be careful of that I remember is not angering the Pope, because otherwise he excommunicates you and everyone hates you.
Where to, sire?
But either way, let's go ahead and
Can't spy there,
possibly spy in the rebel village. Oh, I forgot that they gave you funny videos to watch. These are fantastic. Let's have a look and see how our spy does. There's only a 50% chance of success. Gotta love it. I think he made it. Fantastic. In the event of a siege, this element will hold out for 2 turns. So we can see they have some spear militia, a couple peasants, a couple archer militia. Nothing too significant. That is fine. If we grab a few more men from here, we can add them to that army and we can go and attack that sooner than later. I'm also going to start shifting some of these guys further up, although I'm going to leave the town militia there because they are paid for free. I don't think the peasants are paid for free, so they can come with us. And I might leave William in there. We'll take him out and we'll start moving him upwards. So that's still very high, regardless of the fact we don't have a guy there. Interesting. Either way, I am going to recruit myself another town militia, and we'll grab ourselves some peasants here, again, just to help with public order. Might also grab myself some mailed knights as well, as they are very useful for strong charges into the enemy. And that's pretty much our first turn done.
Sire.
I would spend more of my cash, but like I mentioned before, the queues of the construction don't count. So that's something we've got to be wary of. I did want to also check the sort of religion, but I can't remember like how you check that. Ah, here we go. This is 70% Catholic. And this is... yeah, Yeah, so that's London, 17% Catholic. Nottingham is 80% Catholic. Alright,
God's
so let's move down towards London.
in God's name.
And if we
Continuing
can
once I have
sort of
rested.
continue to convert this, that'd be great. I'm not sure if
Yes,
the
Your
cardinal
Highness.
has to be in the settlement, but that might have
Yes.
to be the case. We'll work that out eventually, I'm sure. If you guys have any tips, by the way, or anything you think I need to know, then do leave them in the comments. I do appreciate
Sire.
all of the help I do get in the comments over time.
My lord.
So yeah, thank you guys for getting involved. That's all for now though. Let's go ahead and end the turn. Job done pretty much. France coming along with a proposition, I believe.
We have something for you, Seigneur.
Trade rights. It might be worth doing this for now, since we aren't going to be attacking France straight away. That is fine.
Magnifique. Merci très bien, Seigneur. I hope I shall see you again.
Scotland coming down with their diplomat. Probably going to try and offer us some deal at some point. But that is everything done. Lovely. Quick turns.
Your will, sire.
I'll go ahead
To
and
battle it is then, sire.
siege
Prepare to
this
assault the
settlement.
walls.
We will
lay
maintain
siege.
that siege.
The
Rennes
siege goes as planned,
will be
sire.
ours. Looks like Bruges is
My lord,
At your
pretty
service.
daughter of the
stacked
crown.
with rebels, that's for sure. Either way, time for
Post haste, sire.
Our Lady to go and have
Waiting
a
for
look
morning.
around. I
At your service.
think I'm going to have my merchant come and grab this wine over here.
Journeying onward. God's
Okay,
servant.
let's jump into London again and see if the Catholicism was changed. It was by 2%. We jump into the settlement.
Yes, Your
We'll
Highness.
see if that makes even more of a difference or not.
Command me, my lord.
But we can go ahead and take
To
York,
war,
so that's
then,
what we're going to do. We're going to
Yes,
assault
sire.
it.
Besieging the enemy.
And since this will be the first battle of the campaign, I'm of course going to have to jump in and fight it on the battle map.
I shall lead our forces into battle, my lord.
Now I am so thankful that you guys voted for this campaign. I do hold the votes on my main channel, Vulcan HD Gaming. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure you go and do so. The reason I do that is because I don't have a community page on my Vulcan Total War channel yet. So as soon as I do, I will of course do the votes on this channel instead. Now camera controls are a bit odd. I don't like how it sort of bends in like that. I'm sure I can change that, but I won't do it during the episode. I'll probably do it just after. In the meantime, let's just get our troops into position. Pretty sure where we want to attack from. Issue with a lot of these settlements is they do sort of push you into a choke point, and that's often not very fun. But we'll do 2 here. I'll grab my peasant archers there as well. Do peasant archers on this side as well, with the remaining infantry. We do have our leader as well, and he has his general bodyguard, which looks absolutely badass. Look at those chaps with their huge poles. They can be very effective in combat, so we might have to make good use of them. Anyway, we'll start the battle there. I'll have my archers just move forwards and attack their archers. We'll put them into spread formation. I do remember this UI quite well. It just sort of goes to show how good the UI actually was back then. I mean, the UI hasn't really been anything bad in the newer games, actually. But I definitely remember this UI very well. Ah yes, moving in settlements was an absolute nightmare, so bear with me guys. You always had to set your formations beforehand and then just hope for the best. Alright, let's speed things up. Seems you can only do it when the camera is still. Limitation of the engine back then. Okay, let's have these archers move forwards a bit more. What's the run key? Each. Wow. Come on, men, get into position. Oh, they're starting to rain arrows down upon us. It's not very fun. Let's make sure that we do that to them. Where's our other archer unit? Are they both here? I feel like they are. Yeah, we're coming under fire. I have set my settings so that we have larger units, I think.
Archers, spearmen, march! Spearmen, march! Archers, move out! Move!
I might have to turn off a skirmish mode with these guys.
Archers,
They do what I want them to.
archers, archers,
Okay, let's have the
archers, spearmen,
spearmen charge forwards.
spearmen, archers,
But my archers are taking quite a lot of damage from theirs at the moment. Ouch.
spearmen, spearmen,
Okay, now spearman versus spearman.
archers,
Lovely jubbly. Time to fire away. Keep all of them firing at the archer militia here.
archers,
Although I might have these just attack the spear militia. Saying that, we are being attacked by the peasant archers back here, so we'll attack those.
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue like this, we
Okay.
will smash the
What
enemy.
I'm going to do while these engagements are going on is get my general to run around the backside. Let's have a look at some of this combat. The good old combat of Total War. Love the sound of those arrows. Seem to be doing quite a lot of damage actually with our arrow fire. You can see a lot of them getting hit there. One thing that is cool about Medieval 2 is you can see the blood on their clothes as they get more and more damaged. I think that's something that's actually lacking in terms of realism in some of the newer games, is actually the fact that the soldiers don't get muddy and bloody. They just go from being pristine to being cut in half, for the most part. And my archer's doing a hell of a lot of damage.
archers,
Now, one of the points about very hard difficulty is I think my units lose morale quicker. We have less morale in general, and they actually have more morale. So that in combination can be quite difficult to deal with, since, especially in a battle like this, they never rout. And that's a problem. Though for some reason their archers are deciding to run into melee range. I think that's because my archers fell back. But we are slowly making progress into this town. My leader is going to come around the back here and hopefully get a rear charge in eventually, if I continue to micro him round there.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Lovely.
archers,
Doing a lot of damage.
Good tidings. The enemy general lies dead. We've sent the base cur to hell.
Gotta love it when those animations like stabbing him on the ground. Lovely stuff. Right, let's go ahead and charge into these guys.
hey,
These poor archer militia. My general leading the charge.
Behold how our cowardly foe runs. It's time to press the attack.
Well, we routed all of them. We could obviously continue, but not a good idea, since I think in the centre square your units don't rout. So we wouldn't want to continue if we could.
All of Christendom
We'll just take
will
the
be
clear
awed
victory.
by the victory we have won here today.
And show the battle statistics. Casualties inflicted. One of our peasant archers did 194 kills. It's quite a lot. Leave it there. Awesome little start to our campaign. And one thing you do have to be wary of in medieval
Such is the fate of
is that you
all
can't
who
really
oppose us.
retrain units unless the
Victory!
settlement
These
you
people
occupy
now kneel before us, my lord.
can like make them. But what we're going to do here is just occupy this because we don't want to affect the public order too much.
Sire,
We're going to have our spy head north,
I am
find out what's
spent,
happening
sire.
up in
I shall
Scotland.
continue tomorrow.
Trait increase of extra chivalry. Dread. Lovely. Got our mailed knights completed. Couple of dirt roads. You can see the expenditure of the next buildings has now been taken off.
My king.
So often if you're building stuff turn after turn, you will find that your coffers just continuously decrease. But since we want to take
Back
on
off before I take a liking to your lands and daughters.
Scotland
I'm not a
sooner than
threat to
later,
you. Best keep it that way.
yeah, we're going to want to take these guys out sooner than later.
If you wish to parley, noble sire, send an emissary.
Where to, sire?
Command me,
I
sire.
love the sort of speeches they give
As you
there.
command.
Very funny.
Orders.
Have
As you
our
wish.
horsemen join us up there. We are going to want to recruit some more troops, but there's nothing really too much that we can get. We can get some more spear militia. I think the best thing to do here is just get the wooden palisade up, get the land clearance done,
Yes.
and I might go ahead and merge some of these units.
Orders.
Although keeping them smaller might help for if we're attacking a settlement, so I'll do that. Right, how about London? Let's go ahead and check the conversion here. Seems as though being inside the settlement meant that he didn't convert anything this turn. So I'm going to bring him out and we're going to test it again for one more turn,
Orders.
just to try and figure things out.
To battle it is then,
We haven't
sire.
ended the turn, so this siege
Our
is still
sieging
ongoing.
army is at your command, sire.
We have
Sire.
recruited ourselves some more mailed knights.
Joining
We can get on
to
in there.
war then, sire. The siege goes as planned,
Lovely.
sire.
My lord.
Pretty sure that's everything done. No way to really check, I think, in this game. I can just click through
Sire.
Sire.
like so, and I
Yes,
might have to
sire.
just do that.
Ships ready.
Gonna put these guys
A
together.
fine day
We do
to
have to be a
sail.
little bit careful about pirates, or like rebel
lord.
like rebel navies.
Your will, sire.
I always remember them being really irritating,
Fleet ready, sire.
so we have to be careful about that.
An order.
But in the meantime, all is good by the looks of things, and
Command
we're
me,
amassing a
sire.
nice big army that
Back
can
off before I
hopefully
take a liking to your lands
take
and
on
daughters. I'm
the
not
enemy
No time to
forces.
heal
As long as we
I'm on
have
duty.
more archers than they do, I think we can kill them off quite nicely. So that's what I'm going to try and focus on building if I can, although I can't build any just yet because we don't have the boa. I might have to build one actually at Nottingham just so that we can get some of those peasant archers going. Yeah, let's just add that to the queue. We'll get there eventually. How much are we making at the end of each turn? Got 5,630 incoming. Okay. Let's go ahead and end the turn. Made a pretty strong start, I think.
Greetings. We have a word for you.
I'm not sure if trade rights affects our sort of reliability or reputation. So I think I'm just going to trade map information. Maybe ask for a bit of money for that. Don't know how much it's worth. Gonna have to figure this out. If I can just keep sneaking a bit more and a bit more, then I will. Because then in future, I will generally be able to perceive how much they'll take. That's still regarded as balanced. We could probably maybe go to 1,000. Maybe even more? Wow. Really? Still balanced? 1,000. Let's just go to 2,000 and see if that's balanced. Demanding. Okay. Since it's on very hard difficulty, they're unlikely to take anything that isn't balanced or generous. It's like we're in the region of like 1,300. It's just in between what I was getting to.
There's naught in this for us. Nay, my friend. No convinced. I'm afraid the answer is definitely no.
What's going on here?
There's naught in this for us.
Can we just get more and more money from
I'm
them?
afraid the answer is definitely no.
The good old diplomacy system of medieval 2. They don't get annoyed, so they just keep going. Demeanor rejected. Oh, okay. That's annoying. There is actually a demeanor. Never mind. Just rejecting them over and over again does make them hate you. I think this is a bad idea. Trade map information for map information with a single payment of 1,000.
I'm afraid the answer is definitely no.
God damn. Stop it. Make a single payment of 700 then, and we'll trade map information.
There's naught.
Whatever, I'm done.
Diplomacy has failed this day.
Well, that's good. Scottish got sent back to Edinburgh. Okay, reinforced region. You'll be rewarded with some military units. The council suggests you increase our forces here by at least 4 units in Nottingham. Interesting. Okay, we can do that pretty easily actually. I can just take these guys out.
As you wish.
Unless that requires actual recruitment. What we can do in the meantime here, since they don't like us very much, is we can bring the tax rate down a bit. And I'll grab some more town militia to put in there. Relations worsened to very poor. In Scotland. That's amusing.
My king.
Right, let's grab these forces.
Command me, sire.
And we're going to move up
Sire.
to the border. I might recruit myself some mercenaries as well. Some crossbowmen might do the job. Their upkeep's quite a lot though. That's the trouble. But crossbowmen are pretty decent, so we'll grab them. Oh, I do need to be a bit careful with the old public order there. So we'll have Prince Rufus take up the mantle. Let's maybe reduce this a bit more. We have to be careful with our cash, actually. And we have this attack to do now. But unfortunately, guys, it has been my time. So I am going to have to leave it here. In the next episode, I will see what I can do about attacking Scotland. However, their army is looking pretty nasty. I guess what we might be able to do is wait until they take out another army to take Inverness, and then if they do that, we can then attack them.
I'm not a threat to you.
So we will try and do that in the future. We've also got this attack to do, so we will take Rennes as well. And that's about it for now. Yeah, fantastic start. Really enjoyed getting back into this, and hopefully you guys have as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.